Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so excited to make a big announcement about the Hivery. My name is Kraaijvanger. I'm the founder of the Hivery. I am joined by my dear friend and mentor and colleague and collaborator and shiro, Megan Flatt, who is the founder of Let's Collective. And she also founded Focus Sessions, which we are going to be talking about today. Megan, thank you so much for being with me.
Yay. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk with you.
No, I'm excited too. So Megan and I are coming on today to make a very special announcement that we have had up our sleeves for a few months now. We are collaborating, the Hivery and Focus Sessions are collaborating together to bring access to Focus Sessions to all Hivery members, which I'm thrilled about. I'm so excited about this. And what this means is that if you're a current Hivery member, included in your membership, you will now have access to 16 focus sessions per week with Megan, and she's done incredible research on how to make these productive and efficient and effective and inspiring. So let's start by Megan. First of all, thank you so much for bringing this to our members and collaborating with the Hivery to make this happen. I so appreciate you, and I know our members are really excited. Will you tell us a little bit about what focus sessions are and what to expect?
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And I feel the same way. I'm just so excited to be doing this with you and to be collaborating on this and to be bringing focus sessions to the Hivery members because it's such a perfect partnership. So like you described, focus sessions are 90-minute science-backed, dedicated time and accountability. So we offer, like you said, 16 90-minute sessions a week where you can come and get your most important work done. And everything we do is backed in science and also backed in years of experience of running these with my own clients, within my own programs. And now we're offering it as this full platform. So we do a 90-minute session. You're also welcome, though, I always like to mention, come late, leave early. Like, this is your time to get important work done. So don't worry about that at all. But our sessions are 90 minutes because science tells us that's a really good amount of time for the human brain to focus. Much longer than that, we start to kind of deteriorate a little bit.
And I can vouch for that. Yep, that's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
And we have built our whole beginning. We spend about the first 7 to 9 minutes. All of the sessions are hosted. We have different hosts. So I like to say it's kind of like your favorite yoga class. Like, we're all going to do the same postures and poses, but you're going to connect with different hosts and everyone kind of brings their own flavor. The first 7 minutes of the session, we go through what we call our focus flow, which is the same 4 steps that every host will do at the beginning of every session. We're training your brain to trigger itself that when I do these 4 things, then focus happens. So we're going to lead you through that focus flow. You're going to declare to the group what you're going to be working on during your focus session. And then everyone gets to work. And you have 2 37-minute sprints to work on your most important work. And people tell us that they get more done in one focus session than they got done all day or all week even. So we like to say it's the most productive 90 minutes of your week.
I love that. And I'm so excited for our members to experience these. We do community virtual co-working in the membership every Wednesday. And this all came about because our members were asking for more and more and more, like, get us together, put us together, help us be accountable, help us get focused work done. And so I love what you're doing, and I'm so excited to bring it to members. Tell us a little bit about what kinds of work do people do in the sessions? Do they do, tell us a bit, what kind of stuff do you work on?
Yeah, well, let me approach that from 2 different angles. So one, we suggest, we've created 3 buckets that we suggest you choose from when you're doing your focus time. And honestly, this is what I suggest if you're doing focus time with us, or if you're planning your own focus time on your schedule, to think through these 3 buckets. And then I'll give some specific examples of each bucket. So the first one is visioning and planning. I like to say that you are the CEO of your business, of your life, and you are the strategic visionary of your business, whatever that business is, whether that's writing your memoir or figuring out your next step in life or running your business. Whatever you are working on, you need strategic visionary time. And so that's why we have this one bucket called planning and visioning. So it might For some people, that bucket might look like journaling. What is my next idea? What is my next, maybe it's watching a course or a mentoring session. You could use your time to do that. Or maybe it's planning out, what am I going to do? What's my social media strategy for this month? What's my content calendar for this month? What does the launch of my new program look like? So using that focus time to do that planning and visioning of your most important work.
Yes. Yes.
The second bucket is deep work. And deep work was a term coined by Cal Newport in his book, Deep Work. But I like to think of the Eisenhower matrix. And the Eisenhower matrix, there's a square where it's the important but not urgent work. And that is really the work that moves us forward. That really is the most important work. And so when we say that you do your most important work in focus sessions, we're really talking about that deep work. So that's the creative, it's the writing, it's the programming, it's the whatever it is that you do. If it's coding a website, like whatever it is you do, the thing that really you need to get into that flow, you need to block out distractions and you need to just kind of sink in. That's the deep work. So we have people that are writing their memoirs. We have people that are creating programs. We have people that are recording videos, that they use that deep work time to do that. And then our third bucket is a little controversial because the third bucket we call clear the deck. And the idea behind clear the deck is taking strategic time to clear the nagging tasks off your list that are preventing you from focusing.
Yes. Yes.
And so this doesn't mean spending all your time just answering emails and paying bills, because we really want you in the deep work or the visionary category. But if you find, like I found myself a couple of weeks ago with taxes, if there's something that is preventing you from being able to focus on the more important work, then that's why we like, during the 2 sprints, maybe you take 1 37-minute sprint to clear the deck, you answer the question from your CPA, you return that email that's been nagging at you, you get that invoice sent out, because then that clears it out of your mind so that you're able to focus on the more important work.
It's so fascinating, because what I love about what you're doing, and the reason I'm so excited to bring it to Hivery community, is that I started to notice a very distinct pattern between people that stay stuck and people that get unstuck.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to the people that get unstuck, and however you define that, whether that's creating a new business, creating a new career, making a big life shift, finally writing that book that you've dreamt about for years, whatever your version is of getting unstuck, it comes down to committing the time to make the change, committing the time to do something different. Otherwise you stay in the same path. So what I love about especially when you talk about deep work, I mean, that it's called deep work for a reason. Like it's not easy to get into that flow state. And I really appreciate that you're creating this container for that. We need that as artists of our lives and our business and our social impact initiatives or our books or whatever it is, our careers, whatever work, all the things. We need that focused time that allows us to go deep and clear the decks and get those things out of our minds. Because I know I'm working on a book right now, and it's been such a challenge. Like it reminds me of when I was in college and I would clean my entire apartment before I'd study for finals,
Exactly.
So I really appreciate what you're doing with this. Thank you. And thank you for describing how you do it, because I think that's really helpful.
Yeah. And our goal with focus sessions is to help people sink into that deep work time. So we're always giving tips around routines and rituals and things like using noise canceling headphones or lighting a candle or different routines and rituals, or even just scheduling. That's why the sessions are all at very predictable times. They're always at the same times. We try to always have the same hosts at the same time so that you can really get into a rhythm and say, okay, Mondays are a crazy day. I do all the things, but Tuesday at 9 a.m., I show up for my focus time. And you start to build that into your routine. And I always say that it's not about getting more done. It's about getting the right things done. And that's what we really want to emphasize. It's not about how many things can you get done? Can you pile more on your plate? Can you hustle harder? But it's about really choosing, this is really important to me. And I like to say that focus sessions are a gift to your future self. Like
Yes.
you're putting that time on your calendar. And I'm so excited to be partnering with you and having people come into focus sessions. But even if you can't do it for yourself. Put that time on your calendar, make that dedicated focus time, because
Absolutely.
that's the gift to your future self. In a year from now, you're going to look at the book you wrote, you're going to look at the program you launched, and you're going to be amazed at what you were able to do when you put that dedicated time on your calendar.
It's so true. And I mean, as we've all learned, and certainly this is what the Hivery membership is about, and I know this is what you're doing in focus sessions as well, anything we try to do alone is simply harder. So when we are surrounded, like even if we're not interacting, but we just know that there's other like-minded, kind, supportive, encouraging, inspiring people in this little Zoom box of ours, it makes all the difference in the world, don't you think?
Well, I'm obsessed with the research. And when we launched focus sessions, we did a ton, and I brought in a partner and a collaborator to help me come from like the neuroscience and the brain science background. That's her expertise. And we did a ton of research around, how long should the sessions be? What time, we did a ton of research around that. And one of the most fascinating studies that I found was in the 1930s. In the 1930s, there was a study done that when people were sitting collectively at a table working, they were more productive, even though they weren't collaborating or competing with each other. Mm-hmm. So just the very act of, and you know this because you've known this for the last 6 years, that the very act of being in community allows us to, and I'm going to say get more done, and I want to disclaimer that, but it allows us to get more done. And one of my favorite testimonials is someone who said at the end of a focus session, she said, I got so much done in this focus session that I'm going to take the afternoon off and take my kids to the pool.
Yes.
And that's the get more done. That's the more I want you to be doing. I want you to be so efficient at 9 o'clock in the morning that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can take your kids to the pool, or you can go for a hike with your girlfriend, or you can binge watch Netflix, or, whatever the other thing is that you want to do.
Right. You talked a bit in the masterclass today about moving away from hustle culture. And I cannot tell you how much I agree with that, and how much the Hivery is committed to mentoring and walking the walk of moving away from hustle culture. And we have to be conscious about it, but the biggest, it's hard because we've been trained in this way that is like always be going. And what you're teaching is to put that same energy into the right things, but not all the things.
Yeah.
And then we what we can let go of is the feelings of inadequacy, feelings like we're not getting enough done, the feelings of overwhelm. Sometimes, I know that a few years ago when my business was so busy, sometimes it felt like I didn't even know where to start. Right. And I love this idea of being able to rally together and do the deeper work and the meaningful work together, so that we don't have that paralysis of like, there's too much and now what?
And now what? Exactly. And that's really, that hustle culture, it's built into a capitalistic patriarchal society, right? And so we're really trying to move away from that. And it's not about not doing things, not doing your important work, sleeping, it's like, I don't mean sleeping, but you know what I mean? Like, just like,
it's not about just like lolling around,
right? But it's about making those really conscious decisions. And like one of my favorite mantras that I've been telling myself for years is I have exactly the time I need. And I think that was the first kind of mantra when I started thinking about this concept of like hustle culture versus focus culture. And, that hustle culture says, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to get done everything on my to-do list. I don't have enough time to launch my business. I don't have enough time to be the parent I want to be.
Right.
And I want us to be saying, I have exactly the time I need.
Exactly. Less like moving away from that scarcity mindset, moving into an abundance mindset it's also, this is confidence building right here, because when we start making progress on the deeper work, the work that's really meaningful to us, we start to see that we can do it.
Well, and you build momentum.
Yes.
You build momentum, you start to, and it's like, okay, now you're starting to pick up some speed, and those big, again, we're talking about the masterclass people that were saying like, oh, I have such a hard time sitting down and doing those big projects. Well, we want you to break them down. We want you to break them down into smaller projects and then tackle them, a piece
Yes.
at a time. And that's what you can do in a focus session.
Well, Megan, I'm just thrilled. I mean, I have loved collaborating with you since the day I met you. We've been doing, events and work and presentations and mentorship and all in programs together since I started the Hivery. So you are definitely a trusted friend and collaborator with me. But this I'm particularly excited about because I know that we can have such a big impact on our members. Again, there are 16 focus sessions available per week, up to 4 per day. You'll be able to experiment with. One of the things I learned over the last couple of months is I thought that I was a better writer in the morning, but it turns out I'm a better writer at midday. So you'll learn in these focus sessions that you might have, revelations in the way that you work, how you work, what time you work. And it allows a lot of room for learning and experimentation. It'll be like a little petri dish of focus.
Exactly. Exactly.
So for those of you that aren't aware, the Hivery membership includes all kinds of things, including this new edition of 16 focus sessions a week available in your Hivery membership. We also have weekly community co-working. We do Mindset Monday, where we spend a half an hour getting you on the right track, the right mindset within your community to send you off onto a productive week. We do monthly office hours with me, where you can ask questions, we can problem solve. We do laser coaching. We have a beautiful library of on-demand videos, mini lessons, a community board filled with hundreds of kind, smart, dynamic people that are building businesses, writing books, making art, and also seeking. So if you are not sure what your next chapter is, and many of us are finding our way after the last couple of years, the Hivery membership is a great place to dedicate the time, inspiration, and mentorship to get you, kind of clarifying, honing in, and figuring out what you'd like to do next. We also have power hours with mentors on marketing, on writing, on operations. And then Megan is also going to be doing, as part of our collaboration, quarterly planning workshops. So that's all of that in addition to these beautiful focus sessions that we just described. That's all included in the new Hivery membership, all online. We have members joining from all over the world. It's really exciting, and I'm very proud of it. If you're interested in joining the Hivery, we'd love to have you. Go to thehivery.com/join. That's thehivery.com/join. There's plenty of information there about our membership. We'd love to have you. And Megan, I'm just so grateful to you. Thank you so much for this collaboration. I'm so excited. I know that focus sessions are going to be enjoyed by our members, and certainly by me. You'll see me there. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.